Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I'm Sarabjit Kaur and with me is Abhishek Mukhopadhyay with the midday news. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi lays foundation stones and dedicates to the nation various development projects in Kedarnath. Life of Sri Adi Shankaracharya was extraordinary and devoted to welfare of common man, says Prime Minister, inaugurates Samadhi and unveils the statue. Vice President Venkaiah Naidu calls upon the youth to take inspiration from the lives of freedom fighters. Cumulative COVID-19 vaccination coverage crosses 107 crore 74 lakh mark. Sharp decline registered in petrol and diesel prices as more states announce cut in value-added tax. Reserve Bank of India publishes Statement of Commitment to support greening India's financial system. International Monetary Fund welcomes India's announcement at the COP26 summit on new targets to increase reliance on renewables and reduce carbon intensity. In T20 Cricket World Cup, India to take on Scotland at the Dubai International Cricket Stadium at 7:30 p.m. today, while New Zealand meets Namibia in Sharjah at 3:30 p.m. West Indies all-rounder Dwayne Bravo announces retirement from international cricket after T20 World Cup. As India created history by administering 100 crore doses of vaccine against COVID-19, All India Radio salutes all the doctors, nurses, other frontline workers and all those who got vaccinated and made this possible. Even though the country has achieved this feat, we caution our listeners that the battle against COVID is not yet over. We appeal to our listeners to get fully vaccinated at the earliest and also help others get vaccinated. During the festival season, please follow these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki doori for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact National Helpline numbers 011-2397-8046 and 1075. And now, the news. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today asserted India's success is no longer bound by the old ways. He emphatically said India is making its forces self-sufficient. Speaking at Kedarnath after laying foundation stones and dedicating to the nation various development projects, Mr. Modi said Indian philosophy talks about human welfare. At the picturesque holy place, the Prime Minister evoked the great spiritual Rishi tradition of India and expressed his indescribable joy on coming to Kedarnath Dham. Recalling his interaction with soldiers at Naushera yesterday on Diwali, Mr. Modi said he took the feelings of 130 crore Indians to soldiers. The Prime Minister said today he is on the land of soldiers and in the divine presence of Baba Kedar. The Prime Minister quoted a verse from Ramcharitmanas.
रामचरितमानस में कहा गया है कि अभिगत अकथ अपार नेति नेति नित निगम कह, अर्थात कुछ अनुभव इतने अलौकिक, इतने अनंत होते हैं कि उन्हें शब्दों से व्यक्त नहीं किया जा सकता। बाबा केदारनाथ की शरण में आकर जब भी आता हूं, यहाँ के कण कण से जुड़ जाता हूं। यहाँ की हवाएं, ये हिमालय की चोटियां, ये बाबा केदार का सानिध्य न जाने कैसी अनुभूति की तरफ खींच के ले चला जाता है, जिसके लिए मेरे पास शब्द है ही नहीं।
The Prime Minister said new facilities like shelters, facilitation centers will ease the lives of priests and devotees and allow them to fully immerse in the divine experience of the pilgrimage. Recalling the Kedarnath floods in 2013, the Prime Minister noted that damage caused by the floods years ago was unimaginable.
बाढ़ से सुरक्षा के लिए जिस दीवार का निर्माण किया गया है, इससे श्रद्धालुओं की यात्रा अब और सुरक्षित होगी। तीर्थ पुरोहितों के लिए नए बने आवासों से उन्हें हर मौसम में सुविधा होगी। भगवान केदारनाथ की सेवा उनके लिए अब कुछ सरल होगी, कुछ आसान होगी।
The Prime Minister thanked all the workers, priests, Raval families of the priests, officials and the Chief Minister for relentlessly pursuing the development works at the Dham. The Prime Minister said that he kept monitoring the work through drones and other technologies. He said this combination of modernity with the eternal on this ancient land, these development works are the result of the natural grace of Lord Shankar. Talking about Adi Shankaracharya, Mr. Modi said, Acharya Shankar's life was as extraordinary as it was devoted to the welfare of the common man.
शंकराचार्य जी ने भारत की चेतना में फिर से प्राण फूके और हमें हमारी आर्थिक परमार्थिक उन्नति का मंत्र दिया। उन्होंने कहा ज्ञान विहीन, देखिए ज्ञान की उपासना की महिमा हमारा कितना महत्व रखता है। ज्ञान विहीन सर्वमतेन मुक्तिम न भजती जन्मशतेन, यानी कि दुख कष्ट और कठिनाइयों से हमारी मुक्ति का एक ही मार्ग है और वो है ज्ञान।
The Prime Minister said a grand temple of Lord Sri Ram is coming up in Ayodhya. Talking about the contribution of heroes of the freedom struggle, the Prime Minister asked the countrymen to visit the places related to the glorious freedom struggle of India and pious places of pilgrimage and get acquainted with the spirit of India. Mr. Modi informed that work is going on at a fast pace on the Char Dham Road project. Mr. Modi said, work is going on to build a ropeway to visit Hemkund Sahib for darshan. He said in the next 10 years, the state will receive more tourists than it did in the last 100 years. The Prime Minister lauded Uttarakhand and its people for achieving the target of 100% single-dose vaccination. Our correspondent reports key infrastructure projects which have been completed including Saraswati Retaining Wall, Asta Path and Ghats, Mandakini Retaining Wall, Asta Path, Tirath Purohit Houses and Garud Chatti Bridge on River Mandakini. The projects have been completed at a cost of over 130 crore rupees. He also laid the foundation stone for multiple projects worth over 180 crore rupees. The Prime Minister also offered prayers at the Kedarnath temple. Prayers were offered and celebrations held at 12 Jyotirlingas and 4 Dhams and many places of faith all over the country, along with the event at Kedarnath Dham. All events were linked to the main event at Kedarnath Dham. In Madhya Pradesh, special prayers were offered at Mahakaleshwar temple in Ujjain and Omkareshwar temple in Khandwa district of Madhya Pradesh. State Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan participated from Ujjain, Mahakaleshwar in the program along with other dignitaries and devotees. In Assam, Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma virtually joined the Prime Minister's event at Ma Kamakhya Temple in Guwahati. On the other hand, Union Minister Sarbanand Sonowal also attended the event at Shiv Deol in Sibsagar district. In Tamil Nadu, the opening of the Adi Shankaracharya temple at Kedarnath was celebrated at Chitambram Natraj temple, which is one of the 12 Jyotirlingas. BJP National Joint Secretary in Tamil Nadu in charge Sudhakar Reddy and party functionaries participated in the special puja. Union Minister of State for Information and Broadcasting Dr. L. Murugan participated in the function at Rameshwaram. In Kerala, Union Minister of Culture, Tourism and Donor G. Kishan Reddy inaugurated a public meeting at Kaladi, the birthplace of Shankaracharya in Kerala. In Uttar Pradesh, the opening of Adi Shankaracharya temple at Kedarnath by Prime Minister Narendra Modi was celebrated across the state. In almost all major cities, at least 5 Shiv temples were selected for the occasion. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu today called upon the youth of the country to take inspiration from the sacrifices of the freedom fighters and strive towards a harmonious and inclusive society. He observed that building a society free of all kinds of discrimination is the real tribute to the sacrifices of the freedom fighters. Mr. Naidu said this while addressing a gathering at the release of a book on the life and parliamentary debates of Amar Alisha, the former pontiff of Sri Vishwa Vijayan Vidya Ehatmika Peetham in Visakhapatnam. The Vice President paid rich tributes to Umar Alisha for his contributions during the freedom struggle.
Britain's health regulators have approved the world's first pill to treat cases of symptomatic COVID-19. Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency MHRA said The antiviral Lagevrio Molnupiravir has been found to be safe and effective at reducing the risk of hospitalization and death in people with mild to moderate COVID-19 who are at increased risk of developing severe disease. Molnupiravir, originally created to treat flu, could go on to be prescribed twice a day to vulnerable patients recently diagnosed with COVID-19 after it proved effective in clinical trials. More than 107 crore 74 lakh COVID-19 vaccine doses have been administered in the country so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. The Health Ministry said over 5,65,000 doses were administered yesterday. India reported more than 12,000 new cases during the last 24 hours. India's active caseload stands at 1,48,922. Active cases account for less than 1% of the total cases, and it is currently at 0.43%, the lowest since March last year. The ministry said the recovery rate is currently at 98.23%, and it is highest since March last year. Over 12,000 people recovered in the last 24 hours, and total recovery touched 3,37,24,959.
Petrol and diesel prices today saw a sharp decline as more states have announced VAT cuts. Several states joined the centre in cutting down the fuel rates. On the eve of Diwali on the 3rd of November, the central government announced a cut in excise duty on petrol by 5 rupees per litre and diesel by 10 rupees per litre. The additional step by states also helped reduce the petrol and diesel rates, which witnessed relentless hikes over the recent months. The Reserve Bank of India, RBI, recently published its Statement of Commitment to Support Greening India's Financial System, NGFS. In the statement, RBI said to benefit from the membership of NGFS by learning from and contributing to global efforts on green finance, RBI joined the central banks and supervisors network for greening the financial system as a member on the 23rd of April 2021. In this regard, on the occasion of the 2021 United Nations Climate Change Conference, NGFS has reiterated its willingness to contribute to the global response required to meet the objectives of the Paris Agreement, and to that end, NGFS will expand and strengthen the collective efforts towards greening the financial system.
The IMF has welcomed India's announcement at the COP26 summit on new targets to increase reliance on renewables and reduce the carbon intensity of its economy, including to adopt a net zero target by 2070. Gary Rice, Director Communication Department at the International Monetary Fund (IMF), told reporters at a news conference in Washington yesterday that India's actions may help catalyze action in other emerging economies as well in addressing the climate change challenges. Responding to a question, Mr. Rice said that India is currently one of the world's largest emitters, still heavily reliant on coal for electricity generation. India's significant investment in renewables and climate change adaptation policies suggest it is well positioned to take further steps to reach this new target. He also said that they are heartened by India's focus on achieving progress in the current decade, given the urgent need for global mitigation action. As with other countries, it will be important to follow through with specific actions to contain emissions over the current decade, he added. Gujarati New Year, Bestu Varas, has been celebrated in different parts of the country today. Gujarati New Year is celebrated by people sporting new clothes, visiting the temples, and meeting friends and relatives. Women also prepare delicious sweets and snacks, which is distributed among all the neighbors and relatives. Many businessmen and traders believe in starting the fresh financial accounts by bidding adieu to the old ones. Prime Minister Narendra Modi greeted people on the occasion of Gujarati New Year while celebrating Diwali with soldiers in Nowshera yesterday.
देश के अन्य हिस्सों में बड़ी संख्या में लोग आज दिवाली का जब दूसरा दिन होता है तो नववर्ष की भी शुरुआत करते हैं और हमारे यहाँ तो हिसाब किताब भी दिवाली से पूरा होता है और दिवाली के दूसरे दिन से शुरू होता है। खास करके गुजरात में नया साल होता है तो मैं नौशेरा की इस वीर भूमि से गुजरात के लोगों को भी और जहाँ जहाँ नववर्ष मनाते हैं उन सबको भी अनेक अनेक मंगल कामनाएं उनके लिए देता हूँ।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi today greeted all Gujaratis on the occasion of Gujarati New Year. In a tweet, Mr. Modi wished that the new year brings happiness, prosperity, health and progress in everyone's life. Home Minister Amit Shah has wished people on Gujarati New Year, Vikram Samvat 2078. In a tweet, Mr. Shah wished that the coming year will bring happiness and prosperity for all.
Govardhan Puja is being celebrated in different parts of the country today. Govardhan Puja is celebrated a day after Diwali. In Uttar Pradesh, Govardhan Puja is being celebrated with religious fervour, especially in Mathura and Vrindavan area.
You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi lays foundation stones and dedicates to the nation various development projects in Kedarnath. Life of Sri Adi Shankaracharya was extraordinary and devoted to welfare of common man, says Prime Minister, inaugurates Samadhi and unveils the statue. Vice President Venkaiah Naidu calls upon the youth to take inspiration from the lives of freedom fighters. Cumulative COVID-19 vaccination coverage crosses 107 crore 74 lakh mark. Sharp decline registered in petrol and diesel prices as most states announce cut in value-added tax. Reserve Bank of India publishes statement of commitment to support greening India's financial system. International Monetary Fund welcomes India's announcement at the COP26 summit on new targets to increase reliance on renewables and reduce the carbon intensity. In T20 Cricket World Cup, India to take on Scotland at the Dubai International Cricket Stadium at 7:30 p.m. today, while New Zealand meets Namibia in Sharjah at 3:30 p.m. West Indies all-rounder Dwayne Bravo announces retirement from international cricket after T20 World Cup. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
Welcome back to the Midday News. As our nation celebrates the 75th year of independence, a series of events are being organized by the government as a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Now, let's listen to our special program, Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव.
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. India's glorious fight for freedom is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse Atul Prasad Sen and Sarojini Naidu, among others, and together they promoted Dadabhai Naoroji in the British Parliament. In 1894, in a stunning move, Chittaranjan Das gave up his lucrative legal practice and plunged headlong into the independence movement against the British colonial government.
Chittaranjan Das successfully defended Aurobindo Ghosh on charges of involvement in the Alipur bomb case in 1909. In his Uttarpara speech, Sri Aurobindo gratefully acknowledged that Chittaranjan Das saved him. Chittaranjan Das was actively involved in the activities of Anushilan Samiti. He was a leading figure in Bengal during the non-cooperation movement of 1919 to 1922 and initiated the boycott of British-made clothes, setting an example by burning his own European clothes and wearing khadi.
C.R. Das was elected as the first mayor of Calcutta Municipal Corporation in 1924. He was a believer in non-violence and constitutional methods for the realization of national independence and advocated Hindu-Muslim unity, cooperation and communal harmony and championed the cause of national education. Chittaranjan Das emerged as a distinguished Bengali poet when, during the troubled days of the national movement, he published the first 2 volumes of his collection of poems titled Malancha and Mala. In 1913, he published Sagar Sangeet, the songs of the sea.
Namiye nao gyaner bojha, soite nari bojhar bhar, amar সকল অঙ্গ হাঁপিয়ে উঠে নয়নে ফেরে অন্ধকার.
In 1925, Chittaranjan's health began to fail due to overwork. Chittaranjan went to Darjeeling to recuperate his health. Mahatma Gandhi visited him and stayed with him for some days. Deshbandhu Chittaranjan Das passed away on 16th of June 1925.
আজি হৃদয় মোর ছিঁড়েছে বন্ধন.
The funeral procession in Calcutta was led by Mahatma Gandhi, who said that Deshbandhu was one of the greatest of men who dreamed and talked of freedom of India and of nothing else. C.R. Das's heart knew no difference between Hindus and Muslims, and that he bore no ill will to even Englishmen.
প্রভাতে জাগ্রত হৃদি শেষ করো গান, আমার জীবন ভরা বিশ্বের আহ্বান.
Today we remember the Lion of Bombay, Firoz Shah Mehta, who died on 5th November 1915. He was born on 4th August 1845 in Bombay and graduated from Elphinstone College in 1864. Mehta went to Lincoln's Inn in London to study law.
After coming back to India, he raised the need for reforms of the Bombay municipal government and wrote the Bombay Municipal Act of 1872, earning him the title of Father of Bombay Municipality. He became the Municipal Commissioner of Bombay Municipality in 1873 and its president 4 times.
Mehta was one of the founding members and president of the Indian National Congress in 1890, held in Calcutta. He published the Bombay Chronicle, which detailed the treatment of Indians in South Africa.
When Gandhi arrived in India, Firoz Shah Mehta presided over a public meeting to welcome him on January 12th, 1915. He died later that year in Bombay. AIR salutes one of the earliest leaders of the Indian nationalist movement.
On November the 5th, 1945, the INA trials began at the Red Fort. The surviving members of the INA were tried by the British colonial government for treason. However, the decision to make the Red Fort trials public proved to be a grave miscalculation on the part of the British, as it led to a new wave of nationalism.
The progress of the trial led to mutiny within the British Army, most notable being the mutiny of the Royal Indian Navy. Although the mutiny was quickly put down, the British realized that they were effectively losing the support of the British Indian Army, the very institution that kept them in power for so long.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
In our Parikrama program, AIR News will broadcast a special roundup on unsung heroes of Indian freedom movement in our series Azadi Ke Tarane at 4:45 p.m.
स्वाधीनता आंदोलन के दौरान भारतीय जनमानस को उत्प्रेरित कर स्वतंत्रता का अलख जगाने और मातृभूमि के प्रति सेवा, समर्पण और त्याग की ज्वाला प्रज्वलित कर देने वाले अमर गीतों पर आधारित विशेष कार्यक्रम आजादी के तराने सुनना न भूलें। FM गोल्ड 100.1 मेगाहर्ट्ज पर प्रत्येक शुक्रवार शाम 4:45 पर परिक्रमा कार्यक्रम के अंतर्गत आजादी के तराने सिर्फ आकाशवाणी पर।
Enforcement Directorate has summoned former State Home Minister Anil Deshmukh's son, Hrishikesh Deshmukh, today for questioning in connection with the money laundering case. Anil Deshmukh is in ED custody after he was arrested on Monday and his bail application was rejected by the PMLA court and he was sent to ED custody till the 6th of November.
In Delhi, overall air quality is in severe category today, mainly due to firecrackers bursting and the presence of biomass pollutants. Talking to AIR News, senior scientist in the India Meteorological Department, R.K. Jenamani said the air quality and fog condition will improve in the city once wind speed picks up.
Today, as per IMD, air quality index is here, 500 plus. Air quality deterioration to severe has been for the first time, and it has been mainly for the firecracker burned by the local and also the NCR area and also the biomass burning. And this severe category will remain actually for some time. Minimum temperature, there will not be much change because of the western disturbance that is over Jammu Kashmir, and it will remain 3 days, 14 to 15 degrees.
In the ICC T20 Cricket World Cup today, India will take on Scotland at the Dubai International Cricket Stadium at 7:30 p.m, while New Zealand meets Namibia in Sharjah at 3:30 p.m. Yesterday, Sri Lanka beat West Indies by 20 runs in the last match in Abu Dhabi last night. Defending the target of 190, Sri Lanka restricted West Indies to 169 for 8 in 20 overs. In another match, Australia beat Bangladesh by 8 wickets to move above South Africa in Group 1 in Dubai. All India Radio is broadcasting ball-by-ball commentary of the World Cup matches.
West Indies all-rounder Dwayne Bravo has announced that he will retire from international cricket after West Indies plays its last T20 World Cup game against Australia this weekend. Defending champion West Indies was eliminated from semi-final contention after losing to Sri Lanka. With the UN Climate Summit or the Conference of Parties COP26 in Glasgow around, All India Radio brings to you a ready reckoner every day. Under the COP26 Explainer series, we shall bring for you daily the terms and concepts in use during the conference. Today, we shall talk about carbon trade. Carbon trade is the buying and selling of credits that permit a company or entity to emit a certain amount of carbon dioxide.
Now let us take a look at the weather update for today. The national capital Delhi will have partly cloudy sky with smoke. The minimum temperature is 15 degrees Celsius, while maximum is expected to be 28 degrees. Mumbai will have generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle. Chennai is expected to have generally cloudy sky with light rain. Kolkata will have partly cloudy sky. The city noted a minimum temperature of 21 degrees Celsius, while the maximum is expected to be 31 degrees. Srinagar will experience rain or snow. Jammu will have partly cloudy sky, becoming generally cloudy towards afternoon or evening, and Gilgit will have generally cloudy sky with moderate rain.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi lays foundation stones and dedicates to the nation various development projects in Kedarnath. Life of Sri Adi Shankaracharya was extraordinary and devoted to welfare of common man, says Prime Minister, inaugurates Samadhi and unveils the statue. Vice President Venkaiah Naidu calls upon the youth to take inspiration from the lives of freedom fighters. Cumulative COVID-19 vaccination coverage crosses 107 crore 74 lakh mark. Sharp decline registered in petrol and diesel prices as more states announce cut in value-added tax. Reserve Bank of India publishes statement of commitment to support greening India's financial system. International Monetary Fund welcomes India's announcement at the COP26 summit on new targets to increase reliance on renewables and reduce carbon intensity. In T20 Cricket World Cup, India to take on Scotland at the Dubai International Cricket Stadium at 7:30 p.m. today, while New Zealand meets Namibia in Sharjah at 3:30 p.m. West Indies all-rounder Dwayne Bravo announces retirement from international cricket after T20 World Cup. And with that, we end the midday news.